Hello, inside please, ladies and gents. Studio, I was going to see you. Very well. Look at you. How are you? Look at this way, please. That's okay.
Hello, Patricia. Patricia, no more here, please. Let's run along, Patricia. Patricia, there to do, please. No more, Patricia. It's going to be my shot. Hi. Can I get a couple of shots? Yes. Thank you very much.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Gregory Maguire. I'm the author of the novel Wicked, on which the musical has been based.
Great. Well, lovely to meet you.
Thank you so much.
And it's wonderful that you're bringing this fantastic show to London. How are you feeling on the opening night?
I'm delighted to be here because for me it's being back. I wrote the novel when I lived in London. I was living in West Hampstead, just off West End Lane. So that was 12 years ago, and tonight the story comes back to where it was born. That makes me very, very happy.
Wow. So come on, I mean, obviously we know what the inspiration was, but how did this idea come about, and what was it you think that has made it so successful?
The story works on two levels. It's about friendship, but it's also about the very serious notions of how to be good and how to avoid being bad. And that's always current. Sadly, it's more current now even than it was 10 years ago when I wrote the novel.
I mean, this is it. People have been saying that it's almost like become an allegory for, the situation between America and the Middle East.
Yes.
Were those thoughts in your mind when you were writing the novel, or is it just, would you say, a theme
Well,
timeless?
it's a universal theme that people who are going to take military action have to consider the nature of their enemies, whether their enemies are indeed even human or not. But 10 years ago when I was writing it, or 12, we were in the first Gulf War, and sadly the book has only become more pertinent, and the story more pertinent in the 10 years since. So people take it to their hearts in a different way now than they did even when it was first published.
So looking at the book and how it's been translated and brought to life on the stage, how happy are you with the reality that is now this incredible show?
I'm absolutely delighted. A writer works so privately, so alone, anonymously, hoping to connect maybe with one reader. In a theater where there are 1,700 or 2,000 or 2,200 people all thrilling to the same vision that you had in your own head privately, well, it's a kind of high that I don't expect to achieve again in my professional life.
And just to set the stage, as it was, tell us briefly, what is Wicked about?
Wicked is about the life and times of a little girl who's born green and is ostracized because of what she looks like and is never listened to because of what she says. She has a lot to say, even if she's not glamorous.
And obviously, it's the prequel to The Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
So, at what stage do we join the story? Is it right?
I'd say the story starts about 25 years before The Wizard of Oz begins. So it's a little bit of a flashback, and then it joins up at a certain point in Act 2 where everyone suddenly knows where they are and how they got there.
Well, I hope you enjoy your event. Thank you so much.
It's been a great pleasure.
Back home.
Thank you. Wicked is home, and it's going to stay here. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Stop that. I'm giving you one of your notes now, you know. They're asking me if there is a long like a last time. There must be someone from East End or something.
This way.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really excited and really good. I'm not as nervous as I thought it would be.
What's new about this production here? And have you changed anything since bringing it from Broadway?
Oh, we changed a lot. I just think the whole feeling of the show is completely different. And it's going to sound really trite, but I think because it's a British production, I think it just gives it just substantial weight, just the language of it, just the way it sounds and feels. It just made it feel like we were really doing a major story. Not that we weren't doing it before, but it just felt more substantial, I guess. And so we went around and we changed some things, and I think we made them better. We had another opportunity, so.
I mean, it's been a phenomenal success in America. I mean, you know, you've seen some of the awards, just the box offices have been outstanding.
Right.
What do you think has been the secret of its success, and what is it that people have tapped into?
I think a couple of things. I think the whole Wizard of Oz acknowledgement that it's around and people are aware of that story. I think it's universal. I also think the relationship between the two women is a major drawing point. I think you've never seen that on stage where two women friends could have that relationship and be so diverse and so in different places. And so I think that tugs at your heartstrings. And the thing that blows my mind is that I never thought it would be a family show. I thought it was going to be this really dark, interesting, unique show. And then after we opened it, it was like families in the audience, like children and teenagers and adolescents. And it blows my mind because it's really expensive. But they're loving it. And I think the kids could relate to it all. You would think they would be afraid of some things, but they're not. So it's good. Thank you very much. Thanks.
to be incredible, and I was blown away. And I'm not just saying
Oh, it's
that.
so sweet of you to
I'm
say
not
that.
just saying that.
Oh.
I mean, I was singing Alexander McQueen, Step Aside.
Well, that's a very nice compliment. I like hearing that. But I would hate to push him away. He's never had to invent a world like I've invented here. But that's a very nice compliment. Thank you.
I mean, is that your dream come true? Literally creating.
Well, I would say yes, because I the way I would describe it is that I was at the perfect moment in my life to design something like this. Just literally my experiences about working with fabrics and the kinds of shapes, but to be able to tell a story like this, to go back and retell really a story. So, but I guess the most exciting part was the opportunity to invent a world. I mean, how often do you really get to invent every part of the world, the animals who live there? So I got to change people's physicality, their faces, the way they move, the way they talk. There was a lot of magic. There was a lot of just working in with the kind of textures and fabrics that I love to do. So
Let's talk about the example. We see that how you created from the darkness and then the hat, and just talk me through that and how she grew through her clothes.
well, I love. I mean, as I said, I love to tell stories, and for both Glinda and Elphaba, our two witches, at the beginning we see them when they meet at university. So I've actually set them in a way so that Glinda is in the lightest color and Elphaba is in the darkest, in the Shiz University colors. And then you actually watch them transform, hopefully over the course of the show, where they become the icons, that Elpha becomes the icon of wickedness and Glinda the icon of goodness. Now, my personal preference is to go toward Elphaba because I like bad over good, but so Glinda ends up being what I hope every 14-year-old girl squeals with delight. You know, that she's a combination of a princess and a bride and a ball gown. It's everything. It's sequins. It's sparkle. And she comes from the sky, and Elphaba comes from the earth. Elphaba's twisted and dark. Hopefully is beautiful, but you can see her. She really emerges from the earth. But they're both forces of power.
And how is it for you watching this show here in London?
Being in London has been so exciting because we had the opportunity not only to redo a show that we're all very excited about, but for me to be able to work with a whole new cast. And this cast has brought so much beauty and adventure and skill. So I've been able to transform what I've done before for these particular bodies and these particular people. So for me, it's been a whole new adventure to be here. So it's been very exciting. I'm so glad you did. Thanks. Take care.
And now I've got to go and I've got Helen and Adina.
I love that. How do you like?
They can hear up and
I love that.
that's what I think we're
That was my favourite thing about it.
How you feeling?
good. Yeah, it's always a bit shell-shocked after an opening. It's nice to... It was an enjoyable opening. It was one of the most enjoyable openings I've done, I have to say.
I mean, did you get more nervous on second night? And you've done those really.
Yeah, I mean, I get nervous before every show. I just can't quite ever settle that down. But it's always... And we'd done like 15 shows, I think. It might not even more. 18, 20 shows before this, which I've never done before, so there was an air of having it be more comfortable, but it's still, you've got your family out there and you've got critics out there and you just like want to make it a great show because it's the opening officially.
I mean, was there a moment where, 6 minutes in or a few minutes in, that the audience were already just... I mean, I've not seen a British audience respond like that in a show for a long time. I mean, and obviously, on the fact that it's set from the US, I need to be part of this, but do you think you get to that point of thinking, yeah, we've got...
Well, yeah, kind of. I don't know. It's one of those things where there's always going to be like, I mean, there are some fans in tonight who are always going to, they know it. It's really great having them there because of their support, but it's also great having people who've never seen the show because you need to really know the story. And there are a lot of people who've never seen it. So tonight it was kind of nice hearing people sort of getting parts, and by the end of the first act, then it's done, it's finished, it's good, you're done. We can like cruise on like in high altitude and sail. Does that make sense?
So tell us about the role that you play.
I play a role called Fiero Tigala, who is a Winky Prince. We're friends, I'm right. And he doesn't really worry about much in life. He doesn't care. He doesn't think that anything. There's no ambition. There's no drive. He just has fun. That's his one ambition: is to have as much fun as possible at all times. And then he meets two girls. And they change his life.
Now, you mentioned the family and friends when you were tonight, and it was a strong Aussie contingent. It's a bit of an Aussie production going on here.
It is. Well, we get around. We're kind of like, with the new. No one ever knows we're here until they go, it's Australia. It's Australia. So I don't know how we win. There's a lot of us. I'm sure that the 20 million or so that they say there is at least double. We only ever give it like half ourselves. I don't know. I've never. I mean, I'd love to. I like this show a lot. Who knows where we'll go. Thank you very much. Cheers.
At the opening night, how much adrenaline is pumping around, and just when you sort of come back down to earth.
Well, there's not much adrenaline now. There has been a lot, but I'm feeling a bit hungry now, and I want to go and eat because we've been told they're going to keep food back, especially for us. And I don't know if you've ever seen actors eat, but it's quite a sight.
I haven't actually. I didn't believe you did. I thought it was,
Oh, I eat all right. I do. Did you come and see the show?
I did. I thought it was absolutely.
It was good, wasn't it? I'm really pleased. We had a wonderful reception.
I haven't heard a British crowd reacting that way.
I know, but it's been like that every night. Every night. There's been screams, and after the girls finish their songs, absolute screams. It's wonderful. I've never experienced anything like it myself.
I mean, it's been an absolute blockbuster success in
yes.
America. And what is it, do you think, that people connect with in this show?
I think it may be the story of the girl that doesn't fit in, because everybody knows what that's like. So I think it touches particularly girls. And there's lots of young girls in the audience, and you can hear them responding emotionally.
People have been saying there's sort of a bigger allegorical story behind there, that sort of, the sort of tensions between the US and the Middle East. I mean, do you think that's...
You can read anything into it you want. I just play the text. I'm not really into analysing it in depth. I think it's just entertainment. It's a musical. And people are having fun, and there's wonderful talent on stage that I am lucky enough to share the stage with. So I'm having a lovely time.
Tell us about the character you play. She's a fun too.
Oh, she's an old bitch.
You're the best though, aren't they? I mean,
I love parts like that, yes. And I have wonderful costumes. She's the headmistress of the school, a witch, of course, and she has a journey in her character, so it's good fun to play. And it doesn't matter that I don't sing. That was the thing I was worried about when they offered me the job. I thought, oh, blimey, it's a musical, but I'm managing, so it's all right.
Now, one question. I obviously know The Wizard of Oz, I'm a big fan, but do you think you have to be a fan of that and know the show?
No, because I've never seen the film The Wizard of Oz. I've still got to see it. They keep telling me you must see the film, and they keep telling me bits that I'm missing because I didn't know that bit of the film. So it's a bit pathetic, really.
Well, in that case, everyone can see it twice and get something in before and after. Congratulations. Enjoy.
Thank you so much. Lovely to talk to you. Bye-bye.
You'll come back to me now.
I will.
You're OBE. I've always wanted to call you a bitch, and I'm really enjoying it. What's it like being a bitch?
Huge fun. I'm really relishing it. And I think I'm doing it rather well, actually. I was quite pleased with the performance tonight. I thought it was the best I've done it. And that's what you always hope for when you have a first night.
Lots of layers in this piece, for the little girl.
It's got a bit of top sauce, and there's a bit very strange. Just ended up here.
I mean, obviously, there's incredible success already in the States. Were you aware of the show? Had you seen it?
No, I must say I wasn't aware of it. I hadn't seen it, and it's been developing as we've been doing it. This isn't a carbon copy of the show in the States. They've brought, the American creative team have brought new ideas, new things, new lines to this production. So they're continuing. The show continues to grow, and they'll no doubt, take what they've learned from this production and use it in the next production. So it's been a fantastic process experience. It's very, very exciting though. There's something I don't know what it is. It's a combination of things. I mean, it has to be said, Idina Menzel is a bit good, to use an English expression. She's a bit good, I think, and it's thrilling. It's really thrilling to hear her singing, and her performance is very, very exciting. But the whole show is. I don't know why it grabs people. It also seems to have a way of cutting through to a gut reaction from people. It's very emotional, very American, I suppose, in that way. It's a very emotional story, show. I mean, really, when we did our technical sing-through, we had members of the cast all blubbing. I've never seen that before at some of the songs, because it's very gushy. It's a 3 tissue box show. Yes, of course we get nerves, yes. Very nervous. And breathe deeply, breathe out. Yeah.
We met in a very different show.
Excuse me. Standing right on the
Sorry. You're a tall man, but even... It's a very different role in Chicago.
Yeah.
What drew you to this? I mean, you say you didn't really know about...
I didn't know the show, but I when I went to see the creative team and to audition to sing and do it, I was very intrigued by Joe Mantello, the director, who was obviously not. This obviously wasn't a bit of fluff what he was interested in making. And I was quite intrigued and impressed by. He gave me some notes. He made some suggestions. We worked on it again, and I thought, oh no, this is actually going to be good. This is going to be good.
So tell me about Oz. It's a letdown.
Oz, a letdown. Yes, it's all humbug and sleight of hand, isn't it? Oz, really. There are 13 Oz books. I never knew that. By Frank Baum. It's not just The Wizard of Oz. There's The Woodman of Oz. There's 13. He wrote 13 books about Oz. Yeah, we know. Well, I didn't know all that. I certainly am. It's been a long haul.
I think you've got a long way. I mean, this one's going to run and run.
I hope so. Yeah.
Which is even more annoying. Thank you. So you're feeling $1 million tonight. It's an amazing night, isn't it?
It's just, God, what an adrenaline rush. And the audience were lovely. They were, they were really supportive and really excited, and there was a massive buzz, but they were really listening as well, and there were a lot of twists and turns and key parts to the plot that you always hope that the audience will really listen to, not to give anything away, but and I really felt like they were doing that, so it was just a complete buzz, really amazing.
I was warned that it's kind of an unprecedented sort of reaction, especially from a British audience to this, and I was like, oh yeah, and really tonight, within sort of 6-7 minutes, there were whoops and cheers, and what is it that really engages people, you think, about this production?
Do Do you know, I wish I could be on the outside looking in. I wish I could. I remember getting hold of the soundtrack 2 years ago or so and thinking, I mean, I'm a huge Stephen Schwartz fan anyway, and thinking, this musical is amazing. I cannot wait for it to come over here, and you know, had huge aspirations to be in the show. So to be in the show now is just such an honour. But I just think it marks the return to music as a station. You know, it has an amazing, compelling score, sort of really witty lyrics, but it's such a clever storyline full of twists and turns that you're not expecting, and it takes you know, a story, something that we're all so familiar with, that we know so well. It's kind of ingrained on our psyches and does something really interesting with it. You know, to create a prequel for The Wizard of Oz, it's just so clever, and you know, I love the way that Winnie Holzman, who wrote the hilarious and very poignant at the same time book, and Stephen Schwartz, they haven't done the typical thing of musical theatre characters. They're not two-dimensional. They're complex, they're corrupt, they're political, they're flawed. You know, Glinda is flawed. They're beautiful in their flawedness, if that's a word. And so I think it gives the audience a bit more of a challenge, and you know, I think the pace of the storytelling and you know, the way that the audience really are compelled to listen very, very hard just makes it all the more engaging, all the more satisfying for an audience member.
And did you ever think you would be wearing the red shoes? I mean, what an amazing, you know.
It's such an honour. I mean, Nessa's a great role to play. She's a supporting role. She has a huge transition in what happens to her. You know, the way she loses all the people that she relies on and that she loves. That when we meet her in Act 2, to quote a lyric, she's alone and loveless, and you know, it's a real challenge for me to play that transition, and also to have such a key role in the storytelling is such an honour. You know, as you say, with the slippers and other things that I won't go into because I don't want to spoil it in case people haven't seen it. But it's really, really special.
That's what's frustrating about doing this, and you know, you can't really talk to, because it is so many twists and turns, it's so many multi-layered. It's just a fantastic story.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're celebrating it tonight.
Oh, they certainly am. Yes.
Working tomorrow.
We are. Yes. So not too late. Not too late.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Went up with a applause right at the end. It was packed. Everyone loved it.
It's a little time away. I love all the people in the cast. I've just been having the time of my life.
Just tell us a little bit about your character.